Welcome back to the channel.
Hi. Hi.
Today we'll be reading Ready to Read, Lucy Knows Best by Charles M. Schulz.
Lucy knows best.
All right. Lucy has a booth where she helps friends with their problems. Lucy gives lots of advice, and it only costs 5 cents. See, Satchel could help. 5 cents. The doctor is in. Charlie Brown is Lucy's biggest customer. Why are you so good at helping people? He asked. Lucy lifts her chin proudly. I know everything, she says. That's a good reason, says Charlie Brown. I'm glad you agree, says Lucy. How can I help you today? Charlie Brown wants to feel confident like Lucy. Try whistling, Lucy says. You'll feel better about yourself and everyone around you. Charlie Brown walks home, whistling. He feels better. Then he passes Woodstock, whistling a fancier tune. Charlie Brown stops whistling. He doesn't feel as good about himself anymore. Charlie Brown goes back to Lucy. I think I need another suggestion, he says. You're hopeless, she says. Next. Will you help my dog Snoopy? He can't sleep because he's afraid of the dark, says Charlie Brown. I'll help anyone with 5 cents, Lucy says. Snoopy comes to see Lucy. The dark can't hurt you, says Lucy. Snoopy falls asleep at the booth. Stay awake when I'm talking to you, screams Lucy. Give me your paw, Lucy says. Say to yourself, I am loved. I am needed. I am important. Snoopy feels better holding Lucy's hand. He smiles. Lucy sends him home. At home, Snoopy finds Woodstock. Woodstock looks sad. Snoopy knows what to do. Snoopy brings Woodstock to see Lucy. Good grief! Why are you so mopey? She says. You're a bird. You can fly. Remember? There's a great big sky out there. Lucy is right. Woodstock flaps his little wings and takes off. Rats, Lucy says. I've helped him so fast, he flew away without paying. Next, Lucy's friend Schroeder has a problem. I want to go to school music camp, but I don't know how to get there, he says. Calm down. Lucy thinks Schroeder is cute. She helps him really quickly. I've booked you a flight 54 first class, he says, handing him a ticket. Wow, you are so helpful. Yes, I'll even kiss you goodbye, Lucy says. She goes, mwah. Lucy leans in for a kiss, but Shorty ignores her. I have to look for a magazine to read on the plane, he says. Lucy is disappointed. When Shorter comes back from camp, she tries again to get his attention. I read that our arms weren't made for throwing baseballs, Lucy says. Really? What are arms made for? Hugging. Lucy grins. Shorter rolls his eyes and says, Beth. Ugh. Lucy is angry with Shorter. She stomps home to sulk. She crawls into her beanbag chair and sinks all the way down. She needs advice. Who can she ask? Herself. Lucy goes to her own booth. I need some help, she says out loud. Then Lucy moves behind the booth. Good. That's why I'm here, she answers. Lucy moves to the other side of the booth. There's this boy I like, but he never notices me, she says. It makes me sad. Lucy moves behind the booth again. What's the problem? She asks. You're smart and beautiful. You shouldn't chase after anyone. Do you really think so? Lucy asked. Of course, she said from behind the booth. I wouldn't lie to you. That's just what Lucy needs to hear. She walks straight to Shorter's house. On the way, she thinks about how smart he is, or how smart she is. She fixes everyone's problems. Crummy old Shorter only cares about his music. I got advice from the smartest person I know. Want to know what she said? Lucy asked. Shorter ignores her. Lucy sticks out her tongue and says, Blah! Lucy goes back to her booth feeling great. After all, Lucy knows best. And that's the end of the book. From Lucy Knows Best. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.